Hey, listen to me. This is what's happening when you don't have nothing to lose. Watch this right here.
So one of my favorite questions of a university student. Just think, kids, I'm looking up at them, if you weren't afraid of anything. Nothing. Getting a bad grade, your parents not liking who you go out with, you want to drop out of school but you're afraid to because your dad will beat you. Just think if you weren't afraid of anything on the planet. Nothing. Where would you be? And I ask you the same thing. Steve Jobs was afraid of nothing. Warren Buffett is afraid of nothing. Bill Gates is afraid of nothing. Henry Ford was afraid of nothing. I'm afraid of nothing. And yet those names, and I could name thousands of them like them, continue to succeed, continue to change the world. And the rest of the world, the 99.9% of the world, is afraid to take a...
Most people never pick up the phone and call. Most people never ask. And that's what separates sometimes the people that do things from the people that just dream about them. You gotta act. And you've got to be willing to fail. You've got to be willing to crash and burn. You know, with people on the phone, with starting a company, with whatever. If you're afraid of failing, you won't get very far.
And the guys and the few gals, and they're high-performance gals too, they're not as well known as the guys, and there's not anywhere near as many of them. But Steve was an iconic guy, and he did change the world. Absolutely, he did change the world. And the current CEO, which we'll talk about in a couple of days, he calls people at 4:30 in the morning. That's when he starts Sunday morning, or actually Monday morning, Sunday night. And all these guys are the same. Success leaves clues. If they're all not like you, what in the is that telling you? If you're not even a drop of sweat dripping down the left testicle of Steve Jobs, what in the is that telling you? How is your program working out? Well, we all know it hasn't. But the key is, can you now do what you know it takes to be one of those kind of persons? That's the real question. And I can see it in your eyes. You're already questioning. Well, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can tell my wife, my girlfriend, well, I can't see you over the weekend, honey. I'm going to be working. I won't be here for Christmas, honey. I know the answer. You don't even have to tell me. Most of you, I can see it in your eyes. I see fear in your eyes. I can smell death in this room.
There's no risk. Now that's why you need to do it young. That's why we started Apple. We said, you know, we have absolutely nothing to lose. I was 20 years old at the time. Woz was 24 or 5. So we have nothing to lose. I mean, we have no families, no children, no houses. Woz had an old car. You know, I had a Volkswagen van. I mean, all we were going to lose is our cars and the shirts off our back. We had nothing to lose, and we had everything to gain. And we figured, even if we crash and burn and lose everything, the experience will have been worth 10 times the cost. So what did we have to lose? There was no risk. And that's, you know, I think that's a very healthy way to look at it. Some people say, well, you could have gone to college and been a lawyer. Well, you're right, but you can go to college and be a lawyer when you're 25. And there's nothing that stops you from doing that. The only thing you really have in your life is time. And if you invest that time in yourself to have great experiences that are going to enrich you, then you can't possibly lose. So I always advise people, don't wait. Do something when you're young, when you have nothing to lose, and keep that in mind. And I think that's the best way.
Kevin also says working 24 hours a day isn't enough anymore. You have to be willing to sacrifice everything to be successful, including your personal life, your family life, maybe more. If you think it's any less, they're wrong and they will fail. Does that sound familiar? And he only just recently came out with this in the last few months. They all think it, but they're trying to paint their legacy. Apparently, Mr. O'Leary doesn't give a about his legacy. You will have the banks and the motivated sellers on their back foot. Does everybody understand that? Off balance, on their back foot, if you follow the scripts. But a lot of you aren't going to follow the scripts and the templates and the processes and the procedures and the systems. Why? Because you've engaged in self-sabotaging activities all your miserable lives, and you don't really deserve. You scraped up the money somehow to get here, but you don't really believe you deserve to be successful. High performance people don't have to be managed. We were talking about CFOs yesterday. You get a qualified, good CFO, you don't have to tell them what to do or her to do. They know what to do. You get, a CEO or a chief operating officer or a chief marketing officer, or they know what to do. You don't have to manage them. And I said a couple of days ago, I've never been told, well, did you do this, Dan? Did you remember this? Because I've always overperformed. And sometimes I've stuck my tentacles in the other guy's portfolio and I got in trouble, and that's why I got fired a couple of times, because I was not only managing what I was supposed to manage, well, I can help you and you and you too, because, and they considered that infringement on their territory. Remember, I may be wrong, but I'm never in doubt. And not every person you're going to bring onto your green team is going to work out. Be careful who you piss off. Hitler and Napoleon both failed trying to invade Russia because they were fighting another war at the same time. And that's why I tell you, focus on the few. You cannot fight two wars. If your birthday is August the 4th, that's our first meeting. 8 o'clock at night, August the 4th. Valentine's Day, first meeting. Christmas Eve, first meeting. Rosh Hashanah.
I'm really glad if you make it right here, because you're not a fucking loser. So I want you right now to comment below, like, why you are not a loser. Why you're not a loser? Just comment below right now.
We ought to just line, this cement wall. We ought to just line all your parents up there. Cut them down like the fucking dogs that they are. Most of the people on this is what you should do, metaphorically speaking. You should have rolled down the inside of your fucking fat mother's thigh, you stupid cunts. Don't you realize that? And everybody doesn't deserve to be alive. Who the fuck said that? And you know what the snowflakes say? They say, Mr. Pena, every snowflake ever created is different, which is true, of the trillions and gazillions of snowflakes, right? And so we're all different people, and this with his fucking earrings and the shit. As opposed to snowflakes melt under pressure. You don't deserve to live. And if you really believe that we're going to run out of food, which is a load of shite, and you're worried, kill yourself, metaphorically speaking. If half the world killed themselves, we wouldn't have a food shortage. We'd be cured overnight. Personal development. You can't measure personal development. The morons will eat it up like ice cream. You can't fucking measure it. How do you measure personal development? You don't, you fucking retards! You cannot measure personal development. And here you are. Now think about that. Or don't think too hard, because you don't have even that many brain cells. I don't give a shit. Nobody, don't you understand? Nobody cares about all the trials and tribulations of your fucking weak cunt lives. Don't you understand that? What the fuck do I have to do here? I saw every regret since I'm born till I fell dead in my son's rehearsal dinner flashed before me in 100 millionth of a second. Every fucking regret she ever had. We're all energy, kids. Every fucking regret she ever fucking had, she saw in a millionth of a second flash before her. And that's what I've been telling people for 50 fucking years. And the only reason I'm going to find out is if I got to die myself first and be brought back. So if you think that when you die it's all over, it ain't. And Steve Jobs knew that. So every miserable cunt-like thing you did in your miserable fucking life is going to haunt you the rest of eternity. If this is, I hope it's a stretch, they could spit on your wife and you wouldn't do a goddamn thing. They could say your wife's a filthy slut whore and you don't do a goddamn thing. What the fuck happened? And your wife will pull you by the arm. Oh, honey, we don't want any trouble. Get away, bitch. And now fucking hit him with a brick. And you're hoping that she pulls you a little harder so you don't have to show like you had a pair. What the fuck happened? Is every man in fucking Britain a meaty mouth weenie? Almost all. There's a few of us. Disgraceful, actually. Shocking. Oh, shocking. Are we going to do anything about it? No. Money is free right now. We're at the lowest interest rates in 5,000 years. What are you going to tell your grandchildren? What are you going to tell your children 20, 25 years from now? What did you do, Grandpa? What did you do, Grandma, during the greatest transformation of motherfucking wealth in the history of the world? What did you do? Other than sit on your fucking hands. What did you do to take advantage of the greatest transformation of wealth in the history of the planet? What did you do? Not a fucking thing. That's what you're going to say. Not a fucking thing. Because I was too much a coward. I was too much a weenie. I was too much a fucking cunt. When I say cunt, I mean coward. I didn't do anything. And that'll be your regret. Mr. Carnegie was a hard bastard. Vanderbilt was a hard bastard. Henry Ford I was a hard bastard. Rockefeller was a hard bastard. Steve Jobs was a ruthless hard bastard. As Apple CEO Cook regularly begins sending emails at 4:30 in the morning on Sunday. He's a hard bastard. Why are all these guys that changed the world got one thing in common? They're fucking tough as nails. Ruthless. Take no prisoners. And then we got you. A stiff drink and a good fuck could kill most people in this room. I'm ashamed to say. In fact, forget the stiff drink, just a good fuck. You know how many people I've called board members whores? You filthy fucking whore. Get the fuck out. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. I say it so easy because I've said it a million times. Because you still care what these assholes think of you. You still want to be liked. And some people in this room are pleasers. Your mother was a pleaser. Your father was a pleaser. And look what they produced. Losers, pleasers. And why do I treat everybody like shit? And why have I been so fucking successful over these 25 years? Because it fucking works. And the reason you're here, you snowflake cunts, is because nobody treated you like shit. Tough love works. You fucking weenies. Tough love works. I'm the alpha male father you never fucking had. Most of you should have never been born. You should have rolled down the inside of your fat mama's leg. But that's why you're here. Now we're going to talk a little bit about IQ. Let's just, for this example, say that we all got 100 IQ. For some of you, I'm taken away. For some of you, I'm given. Okay? Can anybody have 10 or 15 or 20 times our IQ at 100? No. Well, then why do people every day achieve 10 or 20 or 50,000 times more than we? If they can't have an IQ 10 or 20 or 30 times more than ours. Because they dream bigger than we. They dream bigger. I asked you, would you like your kids to be like you? I know the answer. I asked you, would you like your kids to be like your parents? I know the answer. But would you like you see, you have nothing, you can't do anything about your parents or grandparents, right? They're there. But would you like your kids to turn out like the fucking bums that you chill with, that you fucking hang with? Fucking bums! I know the answer to that too. And you can't blame your parents or grandparents, only but indirectly, because you chose those 5 mates. Nobody chose those cocksuckers but you. And you chose them because you had low self-esteem, no self-esteem, no self-confidence whatsoever. And that you can blame your parents for.
Strictness is good. Sensitivity equals poverty, guys. Jesus Christ, look at you. Are you proud of where the fuck you are? No! You want your kids and grandkids to come fucked up like you? No! I hope to God not, anyway. So don't bullshit yourself. Sensitivity equals motherfucking poverty.
I don't do anything except think about how to make you retards better. You know why I have a sore back? 25 years of carrying you fat asses across the goal line. 25 years. And not everybody deserves to be alive. So let's get that fucking thing straight right now. And if you think that, you're retarded. Some of you should have rolled down the inside of your fat mama's leg. And that's the God's truth. Whoops. Do you realize the rest of the world laughs at us? Do you realize the Russians think we're all faggots? Do you realize most of the Eastern Bloc countries think we're faggots? Because we are! We're an embarrassment to humanity.
I believed in Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, and that kind of stuff until I was 11 years old, or more or less. I got in a lot of fights about that. But in grammar school, I was the biggest kid on not campus, on the schoolyard. And then everybody caught up with me when we went into junior high school and high school. So my family, my mother allowed me to believe in Peter Pan and stuff like that. I was old. Now you can't tell the kids the truth quick enough, can you? You got to take the fucking dream away from them, don't you? You got to fuck up their life forever, don't you? Just like they fucked your life up, don't you? You can't fucking stand to see them happy like this. You fucking retards. It's unbelievable. Look what the fuck happened to you. God almighty, it makes me cry. Look at. Now look at you miserable fucking shitbags. And for those of you that mothers, I blame you the most. I've got a whole graphic, metaphorically explicit talk about this in mothers and having babies, but I'm not going to, we're an institution of higher learning here, so I'm not going to go through that. But just imagine the worst fucking things about not having kids, and then go about 100 times worse than that, and that's my talk. You're bringing the kids in this world for all the wrong fucking reasons. You get married for all the wrong fucking reasons. You stay married for all the wrong fucking reasons. Holy shit.
Sally, metaphorically, you should have taken a revolver and stuck it up your fucking mouth and blown your brains out. Because what good have you brought to the planet? None. What good have you brought to the planet? None.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification so you're not gonna miss videos in the future. Remember, just start now your journey. Don't wait. Start now.